A lot has happened in the past 24 hours on the diplomatic front in the ongoing war in Gaza. Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has met the leaders of Hamas during his visit to Qatar. The Malaysian Prime Minister, who is on a 3-day state visit, met with Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh and its former chairperson Khalid Mashal. The meeting comes as Anwar Ibrahim has been a vocal advocate of the Palestinian cause. According to one of the mediators, the Qatar truce talks are at a quote-unquote stalemate, and Israel is setting unrealistic goals and showing no roadmap towards an end to this war. Moreover, reports are emerging that Egypt has threatened to suspend its peace treaty with Israel and stop serving as a mediator in the ceasefire talks. This comes on the heels of Israel giving Egypt a short notice before capturing the Gazan site of the Rafah crossing. With the war showing no signs of stopping, the US administration has notified the Congress about its moving forward with more than a $1 billion new weapons proposal for Israel. The latest weapon package for Israel comes in less than a week after the White House paused a shipment of bombs to Israel. On the other hand, in a bid to provide the much-needed humanitarian aid to the Palestinians, Israel and Egypt officials have started a war of words. Egypt accuses Israel of denying responsibility for the humanitarian crisis that it has caused in Gaza. Cairo says that these are quote-unquote desperate attempts by Israel to shift blame, while Israel says Egypt was not allowing aid into Gaza. On the other hand, the United States says the first shipment of aid through the U.S. maritime route should be open in the coming days.
The U.S. government and other international donors are providing aid commodities for delivery from Cyprus to the beach in Gaza by way of U.S. and partner nation military and civilian vessels and a temporary floating pier. The World Food Program will take receipt of that aid once ashore in Gaza and coordinate its onward movement and distribution to people in need.
On the battlefield in Rafah, the IDF has suffered their first casualty with 4 soldiers said to be injured. According to Israeli military, they are operating in northern, central and southern parts of the enclave. Further adding, the forces have eliminated about 100 militants in their operations in Rafah. Israel has also released footage where they claim Hamas militants are inside the United Nations compound in Gaza. As intense fighting is renewed in Gaza's north, Hamas has released a video showing the militant group fighting the IDF in Jabalia. The group is also defending its ground in the south, where they are fighting the Israeli tanks. Meanwhile, in Israel's northern border, at least 2 people have been killed by an Israeli airstrike targeting a car in southern Lebanon, with one of them being Hezbollah's field commander Hussein Ibrahim Meki. Now, correspondent Jody Cohen tells us about US's decision to halt some of the arms towards Israel.
So President Biden has indicated that he would veto a bill seeking to unfreeze the arms transfer to Israel that's been held back by the White House. But Biden is also seeking congressional approval to send a further $1 billion in arms to Israel. So these appear to be contradictory positions. On the one hand, Biden is known as a long-time Zionist. He's against Hamas staying in power and recognizes Hamas as a terror organization. But with the US election coming up, it's also thought that Biden wants to appeal to far-left voters who are against arms sales to Israel. So the Biden administration seems to be treading a path between the two. They've said that they would always ensure that Israel has what it needs to defend itself, which is perhaps not the same as what Israel needs to defeat Hamas entirely. Now, US National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan is in Saudi Arabia and Israel in the coming days. War Cabinet Minister Benny Gantz had a call with Sullivan, and Gantz said that he emphasised the imperative of increasing pressure on Hamas and continued military pressure to secure a deal to bring the hostages home and remove the threat of Hamas on Israel's border.
Jody further decodes the diplomatic tensions that have risen between Israel and Egypt.
An Egyptian official has said that Egypt won't send a single aid truck to Rafah as long as Israeli forces are at the Rafah crossing. Now, Israel has said that Hamas can't control the crossing. Israel reportedly offered the Palestinian Authority to get involved, but they refused. Some commentators are questioning what Egypt doesn't want Israel to find at the crossing, because it's already known about the smuggling tunnels between Egypt and Gaza. It appears that Egypt is trying to pressure Israel not to carry out its planned ground offensive in Rafah against Hamas. Now, Egypt has said it would join South Africa in their case against Israel at the ICJ, and Egypt is reportedly considering downgrading diplomatic relations. Meanwhile, while Egypt has said it won't allow aid through the Rafah crossing, Israel has said that there are 5 aid crossings open between Israel and Gaza, including Kerem Shalom, despite it repeatedly coming under fire from Hamas. Now, a new aid pier is also soon to begin receiving aid, and Israeli Foreign Minister Katz has said that the key to preventing a humanitarian crisis in Gaza is now in Egypt's hands.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.